Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish, number 211. What's up, Frank?
You tell me, bud. You look.
There's a lot up. I started out the week on Monday. I had Jeffries on the show. I had Berghoff and then Jeffries, and it was like a 2-hour show. And then I closed Monday's show by saying, this has been another edition of Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish. We'll talk to everyone else later. See ya. And hit end. And really confused a bunch of people.
Yeah, only the listening audience, not the viewing audience. The viewing audience.
I was just I had been working on some stuff on Monday. I'd been working on the new Frank Scalish signature series Drop, which should be coming sooner rather than later. So I'd been working on that before the show, and I got an email about it during the show, and then I had Jeffries on, which was kind of old school. I don't know why, but I ended the show with that. So I get to say it today, and it'll actually be correct.
It'll ring true today.
If you can hear a little bit of additional noise here, I'll show you what I'm working with right here. That is a oh no, it just stopped. Why did it just stop?
You pulled the plug out. Go plug it back in.
Oh no, that is not good. It is currently 86 degrees in the studio today. First experience, like I've had a little bit of stuff with the with like some water, like water heater, that type of stuff. You know, you just work through it step by step. And the AC went out yesterday. So.
And where you're at, dude, you might as well go get a hotel room because I would not be in that place.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It's only supposed to get up to 92 today.
Outstanding.
But on the good side, I did get my truck back, and it does look brand new.
It better.
So now I have to get the trailer in from where I got it hung up at the border crossing in Mexico and torque the axle. So I have to drop that off. And then I have to go to Lucky Lure. I had 5. We were talking about this, Frank, and maybe we should talk about this a little bit, but rod maintenance. Yeah. Rod maintenance is something that I think, you know, you've probably seen a lot of guys. We actually talked about this beforehand, but it's kind of important when it comes down to making sure your rod isn't making you lose fish because of things that you have accidentally done to them.
Correct. I have an actual real story in a Bassmaster event that cost me a lot of money because of exactly what we were talking about earlier. So should I go with it?
Yeah, go with it.
So we were on Kentucky Lake, and to my extreme pleasure, it was a major ledge bite going on. And my lure of choice was the Norman DD22, and I was absolutely plastering them, and they were all bigs. Like it was manna from heaven. I didn't know if I was going to catch a 4-pounder or a 5-pounder. All I knew I was going to catch one. And it was very predictable. And so I make a cast, big, long, giant cast. I get it down on the ledge, and I'll tell you what I was fishing. A secondary channel split into the ledge, and I could draw it. I could draw this.
I like it.
Yes. So my ledge went out like this.
So you can see. Well, you look. I don't see a bead of sweat on that head of yours. I'm over here
because
just
my AC is working, baby.
And you've got like 7 stories in your house. You got a lot of AC units.
Yeah. The problem with my house is they're all window units. This is going to be hard to read, but
should I have gone and gotten a window unit?
Oh, you could have, but it would have been a $256 expenditure that will be fixed by 10:30. So this is the main ledge, river ledge. This is a secondary channel that splits it.
Yep.
All my fish were coming right from here. So my boat positioning was here, and I was casting this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I pull up on the place, bomb a cast out there.
Cranking.
I got him. Yeah, I got him. I'm fighting them. And you know how when you get the big ones and they turn on you, and then you got to change direction real quick because you got to walk down the side of the boat after.
Yep.
Boom, I change direction. Pow, the line snaps. I'm like, you got to be shitting me.
Silver thread.
Yeah, fluorocarbon. The fish jumps, shaking my bait. I can hear the bait. I can see the bait. Fish disappears. I'm like, oh my God, I must have had a nick in the line. Retie, put another one on, fire it out there. Bam, I got another one. Literally like on the next cast. Fighting them in. I get them in. I grab them, throw them in the boat. All right. It's only a 3-pounder. I fire back out there. Boom, I got another one. 4-pounder. Get him in the boat. I'm on a good start. I figured, okay, it was a nick in the line. I fire back out there. Boom, I got another giant one on. I fighting him. He comes to the boat. I go change direction to get him on the other side so I can get him. Pow, the line breaks again. I'm like, holy shit, I must have a broken guide. So I jump down in the bottom of the boat. I get a micro cloth and I'm rubbing it through, and there's no fiber snagging, no nothing. There's nothing that I can detect right away. Grab another rod. I'm like, I'm not using that rod. I grab another rod. Boom, throw out there. Boom, I break off another giant. The long and short of it is I probably broke off 25 pounds.
Oh.
So I don't know what's going on. And I wind up getting a limit, but it's not a big limit because I couldn't get the big ones in the boat.
Right.
None of them jumped off the hook. Dude, I went through probably 9 DD22s that day. So I get back to the room. I get the light out. I get cheater glasses on, and I'm looking at all the guides. I can't see anything. I get a Q-tip. I run the Q-tip through the guides. None of the fibers are snagging. So I get annoyed. I cut all the guides off the rod, and I rewrap the whole rod before the next day. And then I didn't lose any fish anymore after that or break any more line, but I also lost the opportunity for a giant bag. So I wind up coming out of there on the okay side of things, nowhere near where it should have been. So here's what happened. So when you have a guide, all right, and I'm just drawing the ceramic. When you have a guide like that,
yep.
Okay.
You're looking at it from the top right now.
You're looking right into the guide. Okay.
Yep.
So if it's broken, you're gonna see little cracks in it. Wherever it's cracked, you're gonna see little like cracks in it, right?
Yep.
So when you shove a Q-tip in there and you just twist the Q-tip like that in it, the cotton fibers in the Q-tip get caught in these hairline fractures. Okay. What happened to mine, which I've never seen in my life. If you look at,
I think I know where you're going here.
Yeah, if you look at the ceramic sideways, it looks like that.
Yep.
My ceramic cracked right in half.
Ooh.
And half of it popped out and the other half was still in there. So I had a knife edge.
So it looked like it was perfect.
It looked perfect.
And then because you had a knife edge, you weren't catching any fibers because there wasn't any jagged edge.
100%. And here's what happened. It was on one side of the guide. So when I would go like that to get them to the other side of the boat so I could grab them, I ran that over the sharp edge and boink, off it came. And so anyway, so I learned a valuable lesson from that. So I always check my guides on every single angle. I use a magnifying glass and a flashlight, and I use a microcloth and a Q-tip to go through all this and see if I have a question. I'll get some line, put it through the guide, get it on my fingers, and I'll start running it around the guide, and then I'll look at the line to see if there's any damage on it. But rod maintenance is so critical. These things, with the advent of neoprene sleeves, okay, you eliminate guide chipping and cracking while they're vibrating and bouncing in your rod locker. But when you lay them on your deck, that's where a lot of other problems begin, because you're stepping on them, you're kicking them around, they're banging into the side of your gunnel. There's all kinds of stuff that happens. And so it's so critical. Like I literally go through my equipment, rods and reels, after almost every single time I fish. And I will never let that happen to me again. Now, I'm fortunate because I could wrap my own guides, I could repair my own stuff. I have boxes of spare guides, all organized by size, all the same brand guides. And so this is what I did when at Kentucky Lake. I had these St. Croix cranking rods that I really liked a lot back in the day, and I actually added extra guides to the rod to help the parabolicness of the bend, because I didn't like how it bent when I hooked a fish. So I added a guide or two to smooth out my curve in the rod. Well, since I started using the Powells, they have the appropriate amount of guides. The parabolicness of their cranking rods is perfect. Now it's just maintenance for me. I don't have to tie my own stuff. It's just maintenance. And so I have all of their guides. Every time if I step on a rod and break it, the first thing I do is I cut all the guides off and put them in the appropriate boxes. And so I have a collection over the years of guides that fit the Powell rods.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have all this. So if somebody steps on a guide and cracks it, I just cut it off, go home, rewrap it, and I'm good to go again.
Yeah, I just dropped mine off I have to pick them up today, actually. Lucky Lure, the local tackle shop at OKC.
That's the one we did the seminars at.
Yeah. We did a seminar there, and I dropped off 5 of my spinning rods with Billy there to replace all the eyes.
That's
and it was like
I
think it was like 5. It was cheap. It was like $15 a guide, or less than, or $20 a guide, or something like that. But I went through, and this is where they were messed up. I had an old rod that had a guide missing on it, because my problem, and I'm going to show a clip here, and this is, I don't think is talked about a lot. I mean, anytime, I told you this, Frank, anytime I can share anything about me winning a gold medal in Mexico, I'm going to. But what I would like you to, what are you laughing at?
Oh, I just love what you're doing.
What I would like you to notice is watch the feet placement on this, like when I hook this. Now, there's not a direct step here, but just like watch while we're fighting, like where look, Andrew's feet are, and stepping on, see, kick it, rods there. I'm about to kick it. Now we're on the other side. Like, I went through and looked, and there's one where I'm jumping up and down, celebrating on top of a rod.
Outstanding.
But I mean, if you look at where all that stuff is, like while we're fighting it, like look at where all the feet and stuff all around the rod, which is like the most important aspect of it. So earlier this year, I was fishing a Thursday nighter by myself, and it was one of those grimy bites on Shawnee Twin, and I kind of know where a couple big ones live out there. And I dialed in, and I had like a legit 6 to 7, which was big bass in first place on that fish, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
And I hooked this fish, I'm reeling it, and I did the same thing where it starts peeling drag. I get it out, and it's peeling drag, and it just doesn't feel like it is coming out of my rod like it should. And the next thing you know, I have split all of my braid, and the fish breaks off at the tip of the rod. I look at that guide, and I had done the same thing. I had stepped on the tip of that rod, didn't realize it. It wasn't perfectly round. It was now a little bit oval, and there was a crack on the side. So it was fine while I was fishing it. But as soon as I put tension on it and the fish swam to the side, that braid went right through the crack and just shredded it. And I lost the fish, and I lost the tournament.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Not a happy camper.
That's terrible. So when I lay my rods on the deck, I make sure that absolutely none of them are touching each other. They're all spaced out, and none of them are touching each other. And so here's the problem. Okay, sometimes, like my boat has the hinges, the compartment hinges, and just the very tippy top of the hinge is exposed a little bit from the carpeting. And I noticed running down the lake that if the rod's vibrating and it's hitting that hinge, it's going to do guide damage. So now I make sure that none of my rods are touching anything on the boat but the carpeting. Now, when I'm fishing by myself, that's super easy to do. Super easy, because a lot of times I'll take them and I'll lay them on the back of the front deck so the rods hang by the seats. And there's nothing on my front deck. That's easy to do when you're by yourself. But when you're fishing with somebody else, you have to be cognizant of where the rods are. I was fishing with a good friend of mine, and we were catching fish, and it was a scramble. I mean, we were plastered.
Is this the Mark story? Call his ass out if you're talking about Mark.
Yeah, it was Mark.
Yeah,
it was absolutely Mark.
I love that you're a good enough friend that you're going to try to keep that under wraps.
Yeah, it was absolutely Mark, and
Mark Jeffries, founder of BTL.
Yeah, and I turn around and we're fighting a fish. He's got one. I got one. We're fighting fish. I turn around, I look down at my deck, and I see him. Mark's got giant feet. His feet are literally on like 4 of my rods. So I don't say a word. When he gets off of them, I just grab them all and I put them to the other side of the boat. And so every time we'd stop to fish, however we were working, I made sure that the side of the boat that we were casting from had 0 rods on it. Because a lot of times, in the heat of the moment, like you said earlier, you're just not paying attention. I mean, you're just not paying attention. Now the shoes that I wear in the boat, I know the minute my toe hits something that's not the carpeting. And so I'm very delicate, you know what I mean? But it gets tough, man. When you're catching them and they're good ones, you're excited, you're amped up, and you know how it is, man. That's why I check my stuff all the time. Like yesterday, I sat in the boat, change leader lines, check guides. Of course, it was 90 something with a heat index of the second inferno of hell. And an hour in the deck of my boat, I was drenched, soaking wet. I'm trying to tie FG knots, salt's getting in my eyes from my sweat. I'm dripping all over everything. I'm like, this is absolutely ludicrous.
That's funny. I just saw Jamie Juice Newton posted who has a hat trick of the best alive, or is this a la Brian Thrift. So I literally was looking at this. You mentioned that they don't touch each other. He's notorious for this. Thrift will fish with a ton of rods. Now this is from 2019, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 rods on his front deck. And not a single rod is touching another rod. If you
right now, keep that picture up. Okay, so that's what my front deck looks like when I'm fishing. That's exactly what I do. But look at the hinges on his, yes, right there. Those will bounce against those hinges, and that could shatter a rod.
I don't have those hinges on the Cat.
Yeah, mine are tiny. They're not long like that. But that can. And here's another thing that the hinges and the latches can do to you in the heat. When we're with these 90-degree days, if your line touches those, it melts the line. Like immediately.
Never even thought about that.
Yeah, me and Troy, my buddy Troy, and I fished a tournament on Kentucky Lake. It was 112 degrees, and every single time a rod touched anything but the carpet, the line melted.
Yeah,
it was crazy. It was
I could totally see that. So how often are you just going out to the boat, pulling all of your rods out, taking the reels off, and just going through each rod, inventorying, checking the guides, checking everything on it? Is that a once a year thing, a twice a year thing?
Okay, so here's what I do. Okay, to be brutally honest with you, I do it probably 4 or 5 times a year. Now, I check my rods almost every time I fish. I have a micro cloth and some slick mist, and I go through and I wipe the rods down and the guides down all the time. Because what I found out is that the dirty water, if you're fishing in dirty water, it picks up the particulate matter. Your guides pick up the particulate matter from the dirty water. It deposits them on the guides, and the guides get rough like sandpaper. So by waxing the guides, you know, every time you go out or every other time you go out, you prevent a lot of excessive wear. All right. The other thing is my reels. I wipe down my reels all the time just because I don't want any debris on them. But about 2 to 3 times a year, I will take reels and take them apart, clean them, oil them up, and put them back together. That's just what I've been doing since the beginning of tournament fishing.
Yeah.
What's so funny?
I was looking at I had that picture pulled up, and if you read my tabs at the top, it's like, how much does an AC compressor for your house cost? Can you fix an AC compressor without replacing it? Tips for fixing an AC compressor.
That is so good. That is so good. So
just real life stuff in the middle of working on ceramic guides on your fishing rods.
Right. So speaking about compressors, so I made a little post the other day. I actually got to fish for 2.5 hours. Matt made a great comment on it on the post, which I really liked a lot. Should I read it? Your comment?
Yeah. What did I say? I've been trying to. I've been.
You've been doing good, Matt. You've been actually engaged.
Yeah, I know. I've been active on it. Like, I made a comment about Kyle Patrick's hairline. I made a comment how it's nice that Jordan Lee is no longer using snap swivels on everything because he posted like his favorite knot. What did I? Oh,
so,
yeah.
Oops.
Yep.
So I posted some of those, and Matt makes a comment. I said the weather was hot, so was the fishing, and Matt said, "Teach us your ways, Uncle Frank."
And you said, "I already do."
You said, "Oh, wait, you already do." So that was hilarious. But my day was cut very, 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 very short, because I had major compressor issues in my boat.
Oh, no.
Yeah, before that happened, I ran to my first spot, and I picked it for a reason. It was an offshore structural element, but it had a lot of different attributes to it. It had a good inside swing. The inside swing was a gradual slope down. It had some grass on it. The outside of it was a super steep break almost to the basin of the lake. And the other side of it, which would be the north side of it, was like a river ledge, straight as an arrow, no variances in it, just a straight ledge. So I went out with the whole intent to deep crank and live scope. And I do a lot of scoping with my crankbaits. I went on the gradual inside swing and was running the crankbaits over some of the deeper sporadic grass that was out there. And I had no followers and saw no bass. Now, bait fish were prevalent, but no bass. I picked up the minnows. I ran the minnows over it, no bass. Picked up my Ned dinger with the 5-inch dinger on it, my Ned rig with the 5-inch dinger, feathered it down, no bass. I swung around to the end of it, launched crankbaits, because at the very end of it, it plateaus out and then drops again. So I got a step there. So I go from 6 to 8 feet to 14 feet flat, 14-foot flat, down to the basin. Cranked the crap out of that. Saw no bass, caught no bass, did nothing. Spun the boat around, made a couple casts down the ledge, the long ledge, didn't catch anything. I'm like, what the F? So I grabbed my flipping stick with the 1/2-ounce slip sinker, and I get up on top of the flat, and I start chucking it way up on the flat, fishing grass on the flat. I don't get bit, and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a bullshit day. I back the boat out. I get on the steep break, and the first pitch I make is literally And I mean, like, this was the critical component, the whole critical component. I'm not drawing grass on this, but the bass were located precisely, exactly right on the edge of the
Ooh,
break.
yeah, I love when
They
they do
were
that.
right there.
They can also be tricky to catch when they're right there too.
100%. And so I had to go to the half ounce because I needed to get it straight down to that right. I mean, it was right there. If you were off of it, you didn't catch one. If you were behind it, you didn't catch one.
Mm-hmm.
So when I figured that out, which literally all in all took me about 25 minutes of fishing this spot to figure that out. When I figured that out, in probably 45 minutes, I caught 25 or 30 of them.
Wow.
And they were nice. They were nice fish. And then I started the motor because I had about a dozen other places just like that. I started the motor up and I hear a knocking noise, like clanging metal.
Yeah, it's not a
And
good
I
sound
go,
to ever hear when you start anything.
no. And I go, oh my God, I think I might have just thrown a piston rod.
Which is blown your motor
Yeah,
up, right?
blown up motor.
Yeah.
And so my heart kind of sinks. I go to another spot. There's a guy on it. So I pass it by. I go to another spot. There's nobody on it. It's not 100% what I need. I fish it for 5 minutes. I don't get bit. I go, this is wrong. I got to go. I start the motor up and this noise is loud now.
yeah.
Now it sounds like the motor's coming apart. So I shut it off and I call Tom from Hydromotive.
Yep.
Ordinarily, I would have called Todd in 2 seconds, but I called Tom. I'm like, Tom, you got to listen to this, dude. And so I put the phone by the motor. I start the motor and he goes, shut it off right now. I shut it off and I go, what do you think? He goes, it's two things. You threw a piston rod or your air compressor's busted. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay.
Hopefully it's the latter.
Right. So I pull the cowling off and everything looks normal. But I didn't take any of the plastic coverings off. So I don't know what's underneath. I just took the cowling off and restarted it to hear if I could hear where the noise was coming from. And so I'm like, oh my God. So I call Frankie. I'm like, bro, I'm going to go. I'm 2.5 miles from the boat launch and I'm not going to trolling. Oh, I was talking to Ryan first at work. And so I had trolling motor to another spot that had a good break on it. And I was talking to Ryan. We were going over some new product stuff and I was telling him what was going on with the boat at the time. And then I catch a good one when I was talking to him on the phone. And he's like, oh, dude, all right, spot on. You got one, you know, the whole 9 yards. And then I called Frankie and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm very far from the ramp. I'm not going to troll a motor there. I'm going to start this boat and I'm going to start idling. I think it's the air compressor. I said, I might put it on plane and just see what happens. So he's like, you sure you want to do that? I go, hey, if it's a piston rod, I need a new motor. If it's an air compressor, the boat will shut down and I'll know immediately. So he's like, okay, do it. So I put the boat up on plane and I'm running back to the ramp. All of a sudden it knocks me down to 3,000 RPMs and then the motor stalls. And I'm like, shit, air compressor. So I troll a motor my way. Anyway, I'm going to give my 100% hat off to my kid. I call him up. I tell him what's going on.
Frankie.
Yes. He goes, I'll be there in the morning.
Oh, Frankie lives for this stuff.
Yeah.
This is like the best call Frankie could ever get. Someone with a issue, like a mechanical issue. He lives for those.
Right. So I go, what do you want me to do? He goes, don't do shit till I get there. I said, okay, I won't. So he shows up in the morning. We pull the cowling off. We pull all the plastic plates off. And sure enough, dude, my pulley on the compressor sheared the bolts off of it. So the pulley was only attached by one loose bolt. The fan belt was off. The compressor was kind of jacked up. So I go, what are we going to do? He goes, well, we're going to take all this crap off here and we're going to spin the compressor and see if it's a piston in the compressor. So we do that. It's pushing air. It's doing everything it's supposed to do. So the top of the compressor is jacked up where that's it. So that whole top piece, all those holes in there were ovaled out, had no more threads in them. The back piece, see where that yellow thing's sticking up?
Yeah.
Right there, that was missing. It was there, but there were no threads in it. It was completely wore out loose. So he goes, okay, let's go to Fisherman Central. They got an old motor like yours there. Let's go buy the old compressor and we'll get the parts swapped. I go, okay. So we put everything away. We hop in the truck and we're pulling out of the driveway. I go, wait a minute. I think I got one of my compressors in the garage because I had gone through 4 air compressors. And so I had a new one that had like a half an hour's worth of time on it that something went awry with it. So I go, I think I got an air compressor in the garage. So I go through the boxes. Sure enough, there's a box labeled air compressor. We pull it out. We took it apart. We put the parts we needed on the other air compressor. Well, I say I didn't do nothing but watch.
Stood back and watched Frankie work his magic.
Yeah, I literally could have been, sipping a pina colada under an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
So we replaced the whole top piece and the entire back part from that metal grommet all the way to the yellow piece. Yeah.
Okay.
And so anyhow, so here's what goes on. So we do that. We put the belt back on. Everything looks good. We fill a tub with water. Start the motor, sounds good, no knocking, no pinging, everything's good. He goes, you probably should go run the boat. We got to put a load on it and make sure. I'm like, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. He goes, no, let's just go downtown because I live like 11 minutes from Lake Erie. Let's just go downtown, dump it in, and run it. I said, okay. So we go downtown, dump it in. It's a little sloppy. It's not terrible. It's a little bit sloppy, fun to drive, safe, and really fun to drive. So we ate it up for a while, and everything worked perfectly. The motor sounded so good, like it sounded like way better than it has since I got it. To be honest with you, it was like
really,
yeah, it was like perfect.
So you're dialed.
Yeah, so I'm dialed.
Did you guys fish at all?
No, dude. No, we didn't fish. He had a meeting he had to go to. And so we couldn't fish. And we both got in the car pulling out. He goes, this kind of sucks because the watercolor was perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it was, speaking of compressed. So, yeah. So it was crazy, man. But it was fun. And I honestly, I forgot how much I just love driving boats. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like every once in a while, I'm just going to go run the shit out of the boat.
Yeah. Well, before Todd passed away, you guys did that, right? Like
Always.
You would just go out on Erie and he'd be like, I'm working on some new props, hop in with me. And you guys would pick a 0-degree wind day in the summer and just go rip around it.
Oh yeah.
80 to 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, we did that a lot actually. He'd get a bug up his butt and he'd be like, I got an idea, dude. And I go, what? He goes, meet me at West Branch. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd go there and he'd have all these props. Yeah. He'd go, let's run this one. Let's run. And he'd be taking all the data down. You know what I mean? And then he'd go, man, we're going to tweak this one a little bit. I go, all right, let's go back to the shop. We go back to the shop. He does his thing. We go back to the lake and run it. I'm like, oh my God, that props mid-range is disgusting. And he'd be like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Let me get the notes on it. He'd get the notes on it. He'd go, here. And he'd give me the prop. I'd be like, dude, I can't take the prop.
It's interesting. Like we're talking about stuff that is not, rod guides and compressors and gear and stuff. And usually, where you're 9 times out of 10, we're talking about baits and hooks and minute details and stuff. Yeah. But I think even casually, and I'm way more aware of this as I get older. I look at some of the younger guys that are out there running the opens now, and I'm like, bro, like, why don't you get that fixed?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, it's good. I could swing it, but I
Yeah.
think there needs to be some, like, you can get caught up in all the fishing details and the patterns and all that, but none of that matters if you're not sound of vessel and equipment.
Right. I'm going
Like,
to tell you two. I'm going to tell you two things that could cause you so many problems. It's sickening, and they're the easiest two things on earth to make sure never happens to you. You have to take your prop off and look at it at least one or two times every time you
so
go
here's
out.
my problem with that, Frank. I know how to get the prop off. I am petrified that I would get those washers screwed up in the wrong part, putting it back on.
No, you just take them out, and the way they come out, you just set them down, and then you pick them up the same way, and you put them back on.
I need to do the same thing that I did with the compression wrench and the spare tires and all that stuff, which is put it in my driveway and do it 6 times consecutively.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Fishing line will get sucked in and wrap around your prop shaft.
Mm-hmm.
Monofilament fluorocarbon is problematic.
It'll break.
Most of the time it'll break. Depends how much you wrap in there. It could get wedged under your seals, and then you got a whole set of issues. Braided line is horrible. Braided line will cut your seals, and you'll leak your lower unit oil out, and the next time you run your boat, you're going to fry your lower unit. Trolling motor, same thing. Pop the trolling motor prop off and make sure there's no line wrapped around that trolling motor shaft.
Now here's another thing. I carry a spare prop with me. It fits the boat. I just realized as I'm going through getting ready for this leech, because I've had my boat in my garage, haven't been able to move it for 3 weeks, that there is no hub inside of that prop.
Yeah, so what you need to do, you need to carry a spare hub
that's installed in the spare prop, right?
Well, it comes out, so you could use the hub from the prop you got.
Okay, pound it out and then.
Yeah, pound it out.
I mean, if I'm in a tournament and I throw an ear, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to just pop that
spare
prop
hub,
off,
buddy.
So
you get the spare hub kit. It comes with the 2 washers and the lock nut and the hub, and that's what you need to carry with you. Always.
Now, I mean, I have no problem driving through any neck of the woods at 3 a.m. now, because the one thing that I have done when I trailer, and Basscat keeps the spare tire in the middle. Like if the trailer's like that, it's right at the top of but it requires a wrench on the bottom, and then you have to unscrew it on the. It's a pain in the butt, especially if you're on gravel or anything. It's a great design. It works great. But what I do if I know I'm taking a long road trip is I just take that spare tire off and I put the spare tire in the back of my truck. Then I've got a fully charged impact wrench that already has the exact size nut on it, or whatever the head. And then I got one of those yellow, it's for like bigger trailers, tandem axle, triple, where, like instead of having to back up or use a jack or anything, all I do is either pull forward on it or back up on it, and it pops it. So I can literally be like, oh, flat tire. I can run out 30 seconds, 5 loose, roll up on it, boom, tire comes up, spare tire. I've already rolled it over, pop it on, roll off of it. Less than 5 minutes, I'm back in action.
Right. And so so what I made was I got 3 2x10s, and I angle cut them. So I could do the exact same thing with the 3 2x10s. So I'll put it under the wheel and I'll drive the boat trailer up on it. And so the wheel will sit up on this one, and it lifts the other wheel off the ground. But the yellow things you're talking about are way better because they lock into the ground. They don't slide. My 2x10.
Fairly the same thing. This is different. If you run a tandem axle boat trailer,
That's a must.
You 1000%, as soon as this show is over, go order one of these, or one that's similar to it. Mine actually has, it's like bigger. My parents got it for me. They said, "What do you want for Christmas?" When I said, "I want to be able to change my tire like that." So I did it. And you don't have to worry about a jack getting up under the frame, anything. You literally just roll it up on that. I've used it probably 5 or 6 times now.
Yeah, it's so.
What would you call that exactly for the iTunes listeners? A ramp?
It's like, yeah, we'll call it a wheel ramp.
A wheel ramp. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're called, but yeah, that's absolutely the best.
And an impact wrench, which is like $300 that you don't want to spend. But my dad bought me the impact wrench at the same time that they got that. We went at Christmas to Harbor Freight, got the Harbor Freight brand of one, a pack of those, whatever they're called. Like I said, this is not my expertise, but if we're going to do a show about this started with rod guides and is now kind of digressed, but I mean, it's an important show.
Yeah, no, that's critical. In fact, dude, you know what? I'm going to Harbor Freight tomorrow.
A trailer ramp.
Yeah, I'm buying that ramp.
I don't know if I don't know if they might have them at Harbor Freight. I think we had to order. Yeah, a socket. God dang, I'm such an idiot. I knew that they're called a socket.
Did Frankie text that in?
No, a bunch of people did. The one that I have is like uncrushable. Like I got like one of the higher end ones. It's like bigger and yellow. It's not just like the little soft plastic like that. But then also you need like the socket, but then also like an Allen wrench and stuff like that. You just have to have everything that's set up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's money, dude. That's I'm gonna throw my 2x10s in the garbage. I'm going to get that.
Yeah. And it's super easy because I keep it on the front deck of my boat. So like if I know I'm not going to be in the boat for a while, then I just put it on the front deck and then I just toss it in the back when I know I'm towing.
Yeah. But the spare tire thing in the bed of the truck, I did that a lot when I had a spare tire on underneath my hull.
Mm-hmm.
My trailer now has the spare tire on the side. So
here's the other thing that if we're just going to do like a make sure your stuff is working show, I can't tell you how many times, especially earlier on, like I would get off of the water, especially if it was in a stumpy area or something, go to a different place, and it would occur to me like that my side imaging wasn't looking perfect or anything, and I'd mess with the settings, and I just hadn't done a walk around on the boat and realized that like my down and side imaging transducer had hit a stump and was like angled incorrectly.
Mm-hmm.
I was just in the boat and like the scope was not on my boat, but was off. And I'm like, this just isn't that great. But I mean, we spent half a day fishing with it not properly aligned. And that's just something that you can go through, wiggle, check, look at, make sure all that stuff is done. I think you'd be surprised at how many guys are running stuff that just isn't exactly like when it was installed. Because I'm guilty of it too. I hook the damn thing up and go fishing. I don't do the 75 point check. Like one time when I came in, the Merc was I'd clogged it up with grass or something like that, and the mechanic at the boatyard goes, "Did you do the 7-step process to check blah 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 before you launched your boat?" And he looked at me and I go, "Absolutely not." And he goes, "When was the last time you did that?" And I go, "Never." And he goes, "Thank you for your honesty. You'd be amazed at how many guys come into the boatyard and lie that they do that every single time they launch the boat." But then he showed me how to check it and said,
oh yeah,
officially you're supposed to check all this stuff every single time before you crank the motor. He said, off the record, do this every couple of weeks.
Yeah. So here's something that I never knew. Okay. There is in the bottom of the motor, there is right below your compressor, that is a black hose.
Yep.
That insert goes into your lower unit, but up up on top of right at the bottom of the lower cowling, and that's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And then this is what it actually looks like when you don't clean it ever.
Holy smokes, Frank.
And that's what puts the water in your cooling system. It's on Mercury 2-strokes. I never knew it was there. I never knew it existed. My Jeff Brazil told me the other day when I called him and told him my compressor's probably shot. He cleans his twice a year, because when you run through shallow water and you kick up mud trails and stuff,
Yep.
you're sucking all that into your cooling system. That screen prevents that from going into your that prevents it from going into your unit. Wait a second. I can't.
Interesting.
Oops. What did I just do? I did something.
You look great to us.
No, I got a bar on the bottom of my computer. I can't read the comments and it won't go away. And it's annoying me at the moment.
Oh, wow. I am impressed, though, at how technologically sound you are for as much as you hate computers.
There, I got it. It's
Okay.
gone now. The old compressor strainer. That a boy, Brazil. Keep me clean, baby.
Yeah. Not a sexy show by any means. Not even a show we were planning on doing. I mean,
No,
I literally
actually.
was just started talking about the
air
rod
conditioner.
guides and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
the air
your
conditioner.
But you know what though? This is probably one of the most organic. I mean,
Yeah.
this thing.
Here's a question that I've always had. It always seems like sometimes, especially after I've had it for a while, my trolling motor, and I know they're way more technologically advanced and different now, but almost every trolling motor I've had, after I've had it, and I've been fortunate enough through the working with the show with the Bass Cat, I've averaged, about every year and a half, I end up getting a new boat. But towards the end, you put that sucker on high on 10 and it vibrates. It goes,
like, I know exactly what it is.
Like, is that?
I know exactly what it is.
All right, hit me with it, friend.
Okay, so when you cover up your boat, your cover lays on the prop of the trolling motor. The heat bends one of the blades. So I called the prop company that makes the props that I use. The name of the prop is going to kill me now.
The weed.
No, it's
What are you? You're a Minn Kota guy?
Yeah.
Weed Master.
No, it's a prop they make. It's a 3-bladed prop they make.
Is it plastic?
Anyway? Yeah. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. These guys will kill me. I can't believe it. But anyhow, I'm going to try this. I don't know if I can do this good enough to show
I see what you're saying. It looks like it's in perfect functioning condition. And is that the armature or that thing? I always thought that got out of whack. But what you're saying is it's going to be slightly lopsided, which I'll only notice at higher speeds because I put the cover on my boat, which slowly has changed the curvature in one of the blades.
Correct. So here's
Kawa.
Yeah, Kippawa.
Kippawa.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Kippawa. Sorry.
Okay, so here's how you do it. You take a board or some straight edge off of your boat and you put the prop down so you mark where the edge of the blade is.
Okay.
Then you rotate the prop to the next blade.
And it should be identical in the exact same spot.
And it should be identical. And then you're going to get to one spot where the blade might come down over here, where the blade might come down over here, or over there, where the yellow line is.
Yeah.
The blade might come in here and here. And so that's where your blade is out of joint.
Yeah, because when you first get it, it's always zzz, and you're like, oh man, I could get on pad with this thing.
So weirdly enough, they do this with airplane propellers. That's how I learned about it. And so anyway, so what you would do is then you would take the blade, like if it was out here, you would take the blade and you would apply heat like with a blow dryer. I would say a heat gun, but you can't do a heat gun. You don't want to melt it. And then you push the blade back to where it's supposed to go. Now you may have to push it farther back because it'll spring back a little bit on you. And then you make sure all 3 of your blades are lining up to the mark. And that's how you recenter your blades. It happens all the time. especially you guys down there where it's 95 degrees with a heat index of 100. That cover's laying on that blade, and over time that blade just warps just a smidge, and you physically won't see it with the naked eye.
Yeah.
You have to line it up with, you put the board down there, you mark it, and you'll see that one of those props is going to be out of whack. And
speaking of tension and out of whack, it shocks me how many other boats that I get in. Now, we're not talking the 2025 stuff or the cableless trolling motors like that, but the majority of guys still run a cable trolling motor and I would deal with this is you don't realize how much slop you get into that thing and how it is impacting your ability to steer the boat, to make minute changes, especially if you have some sort of forward facing on your boat and an older cable steer. Like, take that in, either figure out how to tighten that down or take that in and have it reworked to where you don't have all that play. It's kind of like when you got a truck that's got 500,000 miles on it and you get in, you can go like that and the truck doesn't move, but you get in the new truck and it's like that. It's the same thing. Like, that pressure, that tension on that cable pull, I think is something that really in the long run will cost you fish and maybe boat damage, especially if you fish around docks a lot.
Yeah, 100%. And the cable system, trolling motors, that cable's the weakest link. And the problem with that is it's the pulleys in them, because the cable always comes off the pulley. When it gets loose, the first thing it does is pop off that little pulley that's in there. So yeah, there's, when I had the cable trolling motors, I always carried a spare cable. You got to make sure it's the cable for that specific model, because their lengths are different. And so you got to make sure it's for that specific model. And I carried an extra pulley with me as well, because if the pulley gets loose and the center pin, the center hole gets any kind of oblong to it or ovally effect to it, the pulley moves and that knocks the cable off.
And then also just obviously one of the things that I had learned to out of force was I had one of those like grommet or whatever hooked on with the trolling motor cable, like to just pull it up. And I didn't understand how it like worked. And thankfully when I did it in the open, there's a guy with me that was like, hey, you can do it with pliers, but like now I know how to string it. I check the cable to make sure that it happens. And I remember this because you've seen Pete Glusek, right?
Oh yeah.
Because this is what happens when you don't. And they just were at the Chesapeake Bay, so this became famous again, but this was on live.
That's so funny.
You've seen that, haven't you, Frank?
I've seen it a bunch. I know Pete really good.
You cannot watch that without laughing.
You cannot watch that once. He's going to want to check those rod guides too.
Yeah. That's just from one little itty bitty.
That's a fray
wash.
That's a fray, man.
It just depends. Who among us hasn't just had the absolute yard sale on an old rope trolling motor cable? They don't even make rope anymore, but last time I've seen a rope one, but you still have a rope?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you have a cable now.
I'm cableless now, but yeah.
No, but on your pole, you don't have a rope. It's the little cable, right?
Yeah, it's the cable.
Which sucks when that thing comes out on the bottom, but
yeah, but you know what? I wound up in the bottom hole of my boat before. I
had one on the old Skeeter where it kept breaking, but it wouldn't ever break like deep enough to where I'd fix it. So I just tie the handle back on it. And it got to the point where like my trolling motor cable was like that. And it was like, it took such a special thing to get that thing boom, popped up like that. And I finally had to replace it.
Oh yeah. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah. That's so funny.
A bunch, but anyway, when you buy when you use the LureNet discount code and get your lures, this'll, a couple of things we talked about today might actually allow you to get to the water, to stay on the water, to get home from the water. There was one comment earlier. He said, Finding Adventure won the 500. He said, BTL update for you on my $500 LureNet gift card. I've lost $250 of it to Pike so far this summer.
Welcome to my hell, bro.
I was watching YouTube of Sam Sobey fishing the Champions Tour out of La Crosse, and I had never seen. I don't frog in pike water ever, and I did not know that those little suckers will just literally just like a plank of wood, just 2x4 out of the water, completely engulf your frog and go back down. Like they were just like little shoom straight out of the grass, and he would swing and it wouldn't even load up on the rod. Just the frog's gone.
Oh yeah, they're crazy, man. Pike and muskies are out of their mind. They're fun to fish for when they're big. The smaller ones, I always bleed to death when I catch them because they're wild, they're out of control. I can't handle them.
You have a specific guide?
Yeah, I use Slick Mist. Lucas Slick Mist is what I use.
Okay. Is there a specific guide that you prefer, like a replacement guide?
Oh, let us know what wax Frank is using on guys before.
Yeah, but also my question then is there a specific guide?
Yeah, I use so I use what's ever on the rods, and with Powell they're all Fuji components.
Okay.
I want the exact same guides on them because I don't want to change the weight of the rod or anything. I want everything exactly the same.
And is that a perfect example of even if you're not very talented at doing anything, you can Google and YouTube that and take a couple of old crap rods and learn how to replace a guide?
You could learn that in 20 minutes, how to do it properly.
Or you could do what I do, which is trust someone who has done thousands of them, pay $15 a rod. And
good buddy of mine, Ray, used to own the Rod Maker shop here, and it's called the Rod Maker shop because in the beginning that's what they did. They made fishing rods. So when I was a kid, and I mean a kid, like I was 14 or 15, I would have my dad drive me there. And basically it was almost like going into a basement of a house, and they had 200 rod blanks, handles, guides, everything. And you could literally go there and pick your components and then build your own rod. So when I was a kid, I used to build my own rods. And then I had Ray and Frank over there make me specific rods. When I started fishing bigger tournaments, I would want rods for certain things, and they would make them for me. If you have a shop by you that does that, that's money, because that's a dying thing.
I dropped them off, I think 5-6 days ago, and they called and said, hey, they're ready.
Yeah, because today there's not many shops that offer that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a couple here that do. Most of them don't.
But here's the thing: I'm going to go in there and probably spend an extra $75 just picking up my rods, just being like, oh, I need a couple of those jig heads, a couple packs of that. Got to have some Maxent going up north, and then the fact that that's it. It's like a win-win for everybody.
Right, exactly. But it's really good, and if you have shops by you, utilize them. If they offer that service, utilize them so they stay around and stay in business. It's very important.
Anything else, Frank?
No.
Oh, man. I've got one of the more exciting. I have a conference call today with something that I'm almost positive is going to be something really cool that you and I can be involved with, along with all of just the BTL and Day 4 listeners.
Ooh, I like that.
And they'll all have a chance to win or earn great prizes, and 100% of it goes to charity.
Ooh, better
and
yet.
It involves competition.
Better yet. We got all the senses. We got all the senses covered.
So I'm really excited about it. I've been chatting. I know I talked with you about it. I think it's something that could be a really cool way to Like, I think we already have really good viewer and listener engagement, but I think this could take it
to a different level,
to the next level.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I will agree with that.
So hopefully,
what a tease, man! That was a big tease.
Hopefully by the end of, I'm hoping to announce that in August. So I think I'm here. I think I'll be here next Thursday because practice starts on the 10th for Leech, I believe. That's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I just have a burning desire to hook everything up, say screw real life, and go catch smallmouth. It's a bad addiction, especially when you're looking at the Open going on, and then the elites will be at St. Clair, and they've just had, the Invitational was up there, and then I'll be at Leech. Like, there's just something like my favorite time is like when you're up north and you wake up, it's like 5:36 in the morning, shorts and sweatshirt weather, and you have kind of poor cell phone service, and you know that for the next 3 days, you will be targeting 4 to 6 pound smallmouth bass.
Yeah, it's very exciting, especially for those that don't have the opportunity to do that much. Mm-hmm. It's I imagine if you lived up there, you won't get bored of it, but it won't mean that much to you because it's like right in your backyard. You can do it every day, and it's, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I'll be honest with you, I chase largemouth now more than I ever have, because I used to always smallmouth fish, and to me, like, I don't know, man. I challenge myself a lot. And so my challenge has been the pursuit of big largemouth in the wonderful state of Ohio. And so I put the challenge on myself. I like it. It gives me motivation. Frankie yells at me all the time because I don't smallmouth fish all that much anymore. I still do, but not like before. Man alive. I used to live for them brown things. But, I mean, I'll get back to it as soon as I get bored chasing the green ones. I'll get back to it.
Last question before we wrap this up. What are your thoughts on the Browns QB depth chart? That thing is wild right now. Yeah, I have a little bit of an interest in it. We've got Dylan Gabriel, who's in that mix, who was at OU. And then obviously Shadur Deion Sanders runs a Bass Cat, fishes all the time. So
I have a theory.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Money. Cultivate and sell them off and get other missing puzzle pieces. That's what I think. You don't have that many quarterbacks to keep all them quarterbacks.
You've got Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders. Gabriel and Sanders are rookies. Kenny Pickett's been around a couple years, obviously grizzled veteran in Joe Flacco.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, I think you cultivate them. You pawn off a couple of them, get some money, get some trades, and fill some of the other holes in the team.
So who is going to be the QB in 25 then? You think it'll be like Flacco and Gabriel, or Sanders and Pickett? Or, I mean, there's so many different combinations.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. The only thing that's going to tell is who's going to gel with the offense the best, and give you the best chance. I am really... Like, I love Cleveland sports, the Guardians, which I still call the Indians, the Cavs, the Browns, love them to death. The Browns have me in a state of nausea. I don't know how you go from making the playoffs to 1 year to not even mattering the next year. That annoys me to no end. So we'll see what happens. I'm a wait and see kind of guy. I think there's method to the madness, and I think it's all for positioning for players. That's the only reason I can conceivably see you take that many QBs.
It's interesting. It's like going smallmouth fishing, and instead of just having like 8 topwaters on the front deck, instead of just like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
like nothing else. Just
we're gonna wait and see.
You got a Vixen, you got a Zara Spook, you got a one knocker, you got like 8 different of the same baits. All right.
Oh, that's great, man.
That was a good show. Someone either just came into my house or my TV just started playing out there. I don't know if you saw me.
Yeah, I did.
There's definitely people talking out in my living room, and I'm the only one home.
Okay, well, go see who they are.
Sounds. I hope that's the TV. But why did I not hear that? I bet what happened was I forgot to turn the TV off, and then my YouTube cycled, and then the next video that came on.
Yeah.
I've gotten into these dudes who do like, I spent a month in Afghanistan, or like I'm biking across Russia.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And they do it, and they go through all the visas and the local culture and all that stuff. Like I'm really into the travel adventure show.
Yeah, see, I'm like cooking. That's what I do with the cooking channels. Like I want to learn how to, because you know what the problem is cooking is, you have to know what every spice is, you have to know what every spice tastes like, and you have to know which ones are compatible.
Do you follow Max the Meat Guy?
I do not.
You need to get on YouTube. Max the Meat Guy does like all of the stuff that you want to check. So like
he's the guy that does, like, he'll put crazy things together.
Yeah, but then he'll also like test them out and things like that. So he'd be like, here's how you do it. Like he does some like clickbaity crazy stuff, which is like the Barbie I caught a bass on a Barbie rod, like that type of stuff. But then he also does some like legit stuff, and then a bunch of the people that he like collabs and works with really give you an idea of how to best handle your meat. On that note, this has been...
We're canceled. It's over.
This has been another edition of Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish. Same time, same place next week. You're going to have a bunch of people sweating out in their garages, poking and prodding at their vessels and vehicles and rods now. But
that's okay.
It's all
They
good.
have to. They have to.
We'll talk to everyone next week. See ya.
Bye.